wanted the biggest? Well, you got the biggest. That's right. It's AEW's press conference review and CM Privates.
Chad!
Drinking Dunkin' Donuts, baby! To me, I put it in a dream to me.
I love messing around with that. What's up, everybody? Are you ready? It's the day after. It's the day after AEW All Out. We're getting ready for Monday Night Raw, and the only way to get ready for Monday Night Raw is to pour a big, fat, well, you know, I still can't get over the fact that this isn't Dunkin' Donuts anymore. It still really irritates the shit out of me that it's Dunkin'. Like, really? What the hell? I'm still mad about this, Dunkin' Donuts, you sons of bitches, man. Dunkin'? It's like Starbucks. I mean, it sounds douchey, but at least it's like Starbucks. And then Tim Hortons sounds like a real name. Sounds like a real name. Tim Hortons. Starbucks. Dunkin'. Oh, maybe it's all right. Maybe it was Dunkin's. Like Dunkin' doesn't work. It needs an S, like Dunkin's. Like, yeah, Dunkin's. Dunkin' doesn't sound like, just doesn't sound right. It sounds like you're dunking a basketball, but you're not. You're talking about coffee. It's like if it was Hortons, like Timmy Hortons was just, it's Hortons now. It's Hortons. Come get your Hortons. Sounds stupid. Anyway, little intro there to delay so we could get everybody live. Oh, shit. Speaking of Dunkin's, here they are.
Duncachino. It's a whole new game. Duncachino. You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
First time giving to the show.
Whoa.
You know you are a riot. Keep it up, bro.
Oh,
I
man.
will have to come back when I can.
KC, thank you, KC. KC4L Wrestling Takes. What's going on, man? I'll have to check it out. Man, thank you for saying that. Thank you guys for being here last night and partying with us. Thank you so much for the $5, man. You guys keep me. I know you're maybe newer to the show, and that's your first time donating. I appreciate it very much, man. Without you guys, obviously, I can't do this. I've been doing this for 9 years. It started for fun, just for fun on the side, because I was so angry at wrestling at the time. I've been a wrestling fan since 1987, just to quickly go over that. Wrestling fan since 1987 when I was about, 1988. Actually, whatever WrestleMania 5 was. That's when it was, WrestleMania 5. And, about around 2009, I started getting upset with a lot of things and getting more upset and, always loved radio podcasting, always done commentary. I used to do commentary for hockey stuff back in 2000s. and always wanted to be a wrestling commentator, and I do that on the indies now. So it's all these things have kind of been cool to do, and this has turned into a full-time job, so that's badass. Although I was working my part-time, which I had to afford things, so I was out earlier, so I would have brought this to you. This just happened, unfortunately, to get yesterday completely off. I took this morning's work. Otherwise, I would have been live with you guys at 1 p.m. today doing this, but you know, whatever. Anyway, we're gonna go over the press conference. We're gonna talk about it. There's some stuff that's come to light today that's interesting. There's some more things to look at that we found out about everybody and everything from last night. Simply amazing stuff. A record-breaking poll that we had. I mean, I've never seen such a positive poll. It's crazy. That's the largest poll that we've ever conducted. The second largest was SummerSlam, obviously with the new poll system, more people want to vote. But I mean, that also rivals the polls from Twitter from back when I had 20,000 Twitter followers before I was banned on Twitter. So before I was banned on Twitter with 20,000, to see that many votes that positive last night, man, that was really some crazy stuff. So it just can't be said enough that this certainly touched a nerve with a lot of people that they were that happy about it, because again, we've had polls that just never have gone that high. I mean, I think we've seen 85% positive. I just, again, don't remember seeing anything over 90%. That was a crazy number. From the poll last night, and only with 30,000 people come in, I've been live with shilling out my polls of Twitter, in front of 50,000 people, and the poll never rose past 1,500. So that was just an amazing poll to me. The people really wanted to reach out and give those, give their opinion on it and give those type of reviews, and we're that happy about it. And maybe we were over happy. I will say that maybe we had a lot of juiced energy last night. Maybe if you rewatch this in a couple of months, you'll look at it and say, man, this was an exciting night, but Jesus, maybe it wasn't a 10 out of 10, and maybe it wasn't a 9 out of 9. I wonder that myself. Like, was this show maybe an 8.5 out of 10 and not a 9? I don't, maybe, but all I know is that's how it made me feel last night. It made me feel that hyped, that I was up for delivering a, 9 out of 10 score, which is something I don't do a lot. I'm very harsh on shows, like very harsh. And, it was, that was a surprising thing. Speaking of top dogs, let me go ahead and drop KCL, because he's the first guy to drop a dono. So let me just give him some love right now. But what's up, guys? I was a little bit blabbering on here at the beginning because I wanted to delay a bit, because I knew that, the alerts take a few minutes to get out. So anybody watching on the delay, I'm sorry. Hopefully you fast-forwarded through this first 5 minutes of me just kind of doing a little song and, meandering on a bit, because I didn't want to waste everybody's time, but I already did, because I didn't say that already. So anybody watching this on replay is like, oh, shit. Don't fast-forward now, because it doesn't matter. But we're all live anyway. Best way to watch this is live. So it was really good. Really good stuff last night. Will Tactics just super chatted and said he's got an amazing pole in his pants, which is understandable. I've heard about this pole for years, Will Tactics.
Shit
that you've been donating with your big privates.
You become
so thank you for that.
A shit bomb.
I got an amazing pole in my pants.
Well, I'm glad you know what? You're not the only one, Will Tactics. CM Punk had something to say about that last night. And quite honestly, Vince Russo is not going to like it. Vince Russo is not going to like this poll at all, whatsoever. In fact, Vince Russo is going to be angry. He's going to be angry with what CM Punk said. Did you guys hear what CM Punk said about the stuff about Daniel Bryan? Listen to this.
Cole being with AEW now, what's that mean to you?
I mean, I gotta.
Well, sorry about that.
Excited.
Shit,
I mean,
oh my God!
You
Someone make a
become
bomb joke. Someone made a
a
bomb
shit
joke.
bomb.
I think.
Play the beginning of BTE, please.
James Mesner, what up, brother? I will try to. I am a little bit afraid, though. I don't know if I don't know if the Young Bucks like me or not. I'm not sure. The Young Bucks could like me, they could hate me, or they could not even know who I am. I don't know which one it is, but I'm scared if the Young Bucks don't like me, they may attack me if I play their BTE. But I will check it out and see what you're talking about. James Mesner in the house, one of the sickest wrestling fans ever in the whole entire world, James Mesner. He's right now sitting in his wheelchair or his device that holds him together with his cerebral palsy, and he's trying to come unglued from it, James, aren't you? You're trying to friggin' James Mesner. I know you are, you sicko. I love you. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. Someone mentioned, I swear to God, someone said something about a bomb. Oh my God, someone have a bomb? Oh my God. Dude, imagine if I made that joke, they'd probably kick me out. Someone have a bomb? That's not funny. That's not funny. You know, it's not a bomb. You know, I'm surprised somebody didn't act stupid like that. But I know if I said it, I'd be kicked out. That's all I know.
Sorry, buddy.
Chicago, most likely someone have a gun.
You know, pardon my lewdness. I got a boner for that.
Oh, no. Vince Russo hates this. He's freaking out right now.
Pardon my lewdness. I got a boner for that.
What's with bro? What's with the guys? I pitch in a tent, bro. Oh my God, Kenny Omega, I'm hard, bro. What is that? Like, where's the clip of him flipping out? I would like to just play this like over and over again to him. Is there a clip of Vince doing that? Bro, I'm pitching a tent, bro. Yeah, I can't find it. I can't find it. I have Excalibur talking with Joey Ryan about dick riding or dick talk. But I can't find the Vince Russo clip of him having a hard-on or being upset about hard-ons. All I know is, Excalibur, we got to work on your shoulders, brother. All right? Take a look at Joey Ryan. He may be canceled for, like, diddling people or whatever the charge is. But let me tell you something, Excalibur. We need to work on your upper body, okay? This is a problem, Excalibur. What's going on here with your shoulders? You know what I mean, Excalibur? Come on. There's no way that your hips should be wider than your shoulders unless you, like, play video games all day long, okay? Now, Joey Ryan may be a sexual predator, allegedly, but I'll take him 100 times over your narrowed shoulders, okay? He's a real man, and you can tell he's an alpha because he's out there. He'll get it any way he can, even if it's against the law. But what will you do? You'll sit in a corner and play Tekken 2. Okay, so Tiger Driver! Get some bigger shoulders, Excalibur. Come on. Let's be honest. But no, I can't find this. I'm just kidding. I love you, Excalibur. I can't find the clip that I'm looking for of that clip of Vince Russo. It's too bad. But yeah, the press conference was interesting. Let's hear a little bit from more from Punk. It's him talking about having a boner.
Go ahead and say it, and people can quote me, and they'll be pissed off about it. To me, this is bigger.
How would you rate your performance tonight?
Okay, so they did misquote it because last night I laughed at this, and I even mentioned that. CM Punk says this is bigger than fucking whatever Hogan and everybody. And I did say that last night. I said, wow, that's bullshit, but okay. It's just not. You know what I mean? I don't think. I mean, you're talking about 8 million people, and you're talking about 5 to 11 million people at play watching wrestling at that time. This is just not that, but this feels amazing and epic, and it does feel similar to that time, and it's something that we didn't think we would ever see again. So I will give him that for sure. And I agree with him. I was watching, obviously. We all were. I'm 37, so I mean we're all enamored with that. I think he's just hyped right now saying this, but they did misquote him because they just clipped that part of him saying that, of course, like he just said, and they didn't say whatever. How do you misquote that though? What did he? Let's go back and listen.
Of a war or competing, I know who competition is and who competition isn't. To me, we focus on ourselves, we focus on the talent we have, and we focus on the people in the building, And I think that's how we grow. It's not about throwing stones. And I know TNT loves ratings, and I know everybody's going to look at stuff and compare the two. For a company that's only been around for 2 years, I think they're doing great. And if you're competing with somebody on another night that's got a 30-year head start, well, that's fine. But to me, our competition is our audience. And as long as we keep them engaged and keep them happy, and I think that, to bring it back around, that's what we're doing. So I'm not Hogan. I'm not Savage. You know, Daniel Bryan and Mike and Adam Cole, they're not the outsiders. I see the parallels. This is totally different, and I'll go ahead and say it, and people can quote me, and they'll be pissed off about it. To me, this is bigger.
How would you rate your performance?
I just don't know about that part, but it is the biggest thing that's happened. My dog is shedding everywhere, and the fucking hair is finding its way down here to my office and onto my microphone. But it is the biggest thing. James Mesner, thank you for that $2, by the way. It is the biggest thing since, I don't know, man, since Vince bought WCW. This is the biggest shift in wrestling since Vince bought WCW. And like, I'm serious, I disagree with Punk. I don't agree, I don't disagree with his feeling though, cuz that's his feeling. You can't tell someone how they feel or what's bigger. It's his feeling and opinion. He's living it. If I lived it too, I'd be saying the same thing. I'd be like, "Bro, this is the biggest shit that's ever happened. Fuck everybody." That's what I'd be saying, because I'd be a part of it. No doubt about it. But it's just it's not as big when you really look at it objectively. But this is the biggest thing in wrestling, in the shift of wrestling that's happened. Maybe since Vince bought WCW. Or I would also say since the deletion stuff with Matt Hardy. I know that that's a weird thing to say, but for me, I had not been engaged or hyped in another brand since that. That also got TNA Impact to near 1 million ratings when Impact Wrestling had been at 300,000 viewership. Matt Hardy going into Broken gained them 800 to 900,000 viewers. So at that time, that was one of the bigger shifts in wrestling as well. But this is the biggest shift, I think, in wrestling since probably since WCW was bought by Vince. However, we could make an argument, if you want to talk about ratings, that, you know, TNA Impact in 2010 or 9 or 8 or whatever it was, with when, you know, they were really on fire a bit. I don't know what the ratings were. They had 1 million or 1.5 million at the time or something like that. But there was way more wrestling fans at the time. You know what I mean? Like if AEW did this, what they're doing right now, in the year 2005, I think they would have so many more viewers than that, I think. But like they wouldn't overtake WWE because WWE was so fire at that time, or was still fire. I wouldn't say they're so fire, but they were doing well. But this would be bigger. Because TNA, a lot of those guys were their own guys. You know, other than Christian and one or two other people, you know, obviously Angle was big and stuff like that. So this is the first swing, but these names are even bigger at this point, I think. You know, but again, wrestling was hotter back then. So if CM Punk had gone back then. So but my point is that this is one of the biggest things since WCW was bought by Vince McMahon. But I certainly wouldn't compare it to, like, now, on a moment-to-moment basis of the outsiders showing up in WCW, that may be what CM Punk is talking about. Like, outsiders going to WCW, Hulk Hogan going to WCW were huge things, but they were huge moves. But then over time, they grew the company and they got excitement going over time as they told stories in WCW. So maybe what CM Punk is talking about here is that, like, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall didn't come out and the whole crowd cheered and everybody was on the same page and exploding and stuff like that. So maybe that's what he's talking about. Because there is an argument to be made there that Hogan came in, he was huge, but, kind of stale. And then over time, he turned a bad guy and everything. CM Punk isn't saying this is a bigger moment than Hogan's heel turn. He's saying it's a bigger moment than when Nash and Hall went over to WCW, which was obviously a historical moment now, and a moment we always thought, well, that's just crazy. But he's talking about the moment in whole of the crowd and the way the fans feel about everything. Everybody's on that same page. It's not a development over time like those moments. So if that's what he's talking about, I can sort of see what he's saying there. You know what I mean? Think about it. So I get that. Like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall didn't show up in WCW, and the whole crowd exploded as they came down to the ring. That's what he's talking about. He's kind of right if that's what he's talking about. So I get that if that's what he's saying, that could be what he means.
Tonight. Or is it really too early? You need to really look back at the match and you're like, ah.
How would you rate my performance?
Out of a 10 scale?
Out of 20? Come on.
In all honesty, I would say an 8, just because it seemed like you're halfway through the match. No, I'm being honest, because it seemed like in a little bit there, you got a little. You could tell you were winded. You had been in the ring in 7 years. That's for being brutally honest. But
Did it look like I haven't wrestled in 7 years?
Cardio beyond the cardio, no. You look great. I said you look great. Wow.
This guy crapped on CM Punk's cardio. Oh. Listen, I think he's sort of right in a way, but not really. It really was listen, for a guy, there's no recreating that when you go out there. I'll just tell you guys that right now. I may not be the biggest wrestler of all time, or at all almost. I've only had about 30 matches in front of a crowd, but I just know that when I trained, one of my first matches, I trained like crazy. I was scared that I was going to blow up in the ring. So I ran, and I was playing hockey at the time, and I did all this stuff. And I'll tell you, man, if I hadn't have done that, I would have passed out in the ring, because my heart rate in the ring from the adrenaline of the crowd and being nervous about what I was doing and all these other things, man, I had been in a ring for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes being blown up by a trainer who would make me throw up if you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I'll be able to go out and wrestle because this guy at the wrestling school had me slamming a pillow, jumping on it, running the ropes, slamming the pillow, getting down, counting a 10, getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down, doing footwork in the ring, jumping out of the ring, running laps around the ring, getting in the ring, doing sit-ups, then climbing all 4 top turnbuckles, raising my hands up, then climbing down, and doing all this crazy shit. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to be good to go. And I got out there, and I was good for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then I began, realizing, oh, shit. I was going too fast. I was hyped up, and I had to slow it down with some, holds. And then the other guy didn't want to do that. He was doing something else. And I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's 150th match or 300th match, and this is my, first. And the adrenaline took over, and it was like, dude, you really can't prepare for wrestling in front of the crowd. The only way to fully get endurance is to train like crazy, but also wrestle continuously in front of crowds. It's the only way to do it. So CM Punk looked as I expected him to. He was in really damn good shape, and he's going to get better as far as cardio goes. It's just going to get better because that adrenaline is going to start. You're going to familiarize yourself. It's going to chill out a little bit, and your adrenaline, while it will be kicking, it won't be overtaking your system. You know what I mean? It's just something you can't even control, man. You can, but you can't. You can, if you work to get to a 9 out of 10 in cardio, when you go out there, you'll be a 7. If you work to be a 6 out of 10 in cardio, when you go out there, you'll be a 3. That's just how it is. So you need to be a 10 out of 10 at cardio. Ready to go, 10 out of 10. That way, when you get out there for the first time in a long time, you're going to be a 7. That's just how it is. And I did see that he was a little bit tired at times, it looked, a couple times. But none of it was noticeable to the point at all that it would be any negative. If you ask me, what was Punk's cardio last night, thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up. That's my opinion. I watched the match. Did CM Punk look good last night? Thumbs up. Did CM Punk look like in shape and muscly like he could be a wrestler? Yeah, thumbs up. He looked good. Did CM Punk wrestle a good match? Thumbs up. Did CM Punk have good cardio? I give it a thumbs up. It's probably a 7 out of 10. And guess what? He'll probably get to an 8 or a 9 out of 10. So that's my honest opinion, too. I think this guy's right. I think it's awkward to bring up at the press conference like this. I would have said, hey, listen, if you train for a 10 out of 10 in cardio, when you go out there for the first time in front of the people, your energy is going to suck you up. You're going to be a 7. There's nothing you can do about it. Your cardio is just going to get better, but you look damn good. That being said, let's move on to the next question. But that guy was a little bit like funny. But I like that Punk is laughing at it. I mean, probably going to block him on Twitter after this. Like Punk blocked me a long time ago. I understand why CM Punk blocked me, though. Like, someone asked me that the other day. They were like, Joe, aren't you still mad that CM Punk blocked you? It's like, what? Who gives a shit? It's Twitter. He doesn't even know who I am. I don't know. Nobody knows who anybody is. What's up, Casey Israel? How you doing, man? What's up, Jordan? What's up, Patrick? Listen, I retweeted. There was a story. I was doing anything. Any story that came out, I was talking about it. I was tweeting it. I was doing all kinds of things. And I tweeted out there was a wedding photo of CM Punk with his wife, and it came out and it was like, hey, pictures of CM Punk getting married or whatever. And I just figured like, oh, like that's cool. I'm happy for them, and like this is cool. I didn't know, like I didn't think about how it was some private thing and someone took a picture and that's just shitty. I just was like, oh look, pictures, that's cool. Like and I tweeted it out or something like that. I think that's when he blocked me right away. And knowing CM Punk now even more, like a little bit from the internet is the only way you know him. He's definitely a private person and somebody who values privacy and legitimacy and people that aren't just douchebags and stuff like that. So, and I get that because I don't always like douchebaggy, just the tabloid people and stuff like that just fucking invade everyone's personal shit. So I get it, even though I am kind of a person who would, technically I'm doing this and we're talking about news and rumors and things like that. So I get why CM Punk blocked me. Because he was like, he just hates that shit, clearly. He doesn't like that stuff. Whatever. We're different type of people a little bit, no doubt. But dude, who the fuck cares? I don't even care about that. So the person that asked that question, I mean, the guy don't even know. All he knows is some douchey person on Twitter tweeted out his wedding photo, you know what I mean, or whatever. I mean, I didn't do it. Some other people were already sending it everywhere and sharing it, and I just happened to see it. So, I don't know. I get why he did. That was like fucking 8 years or 6 years ago. Punk is mainly on Instagram anyway. Yeah, I mean, well, he's smart. Instagram is better. Twitter is just a cesspool of shit. Myself included. So, no doubt about it. Does nobody get the part about the ring rust? Yeah, exactly. But he looked great. The bottom line is, there's been times where guys have come back and you could look at it and say, wow, he did not look good, or wow, yeah, he's rusty, holy shit. This was not one of those times. And that's why I think it's like people would say inappropriate or whatever to bring it up to Punk at this press conference. Whatever. I get it, though. It's because the guy looked really good. Like, for coming back after 7 years, that was like the best case scenario for CM Punk as far as I'm concerned. So it was just weird that it got brought up because it just like that was not something I think that most people, noticed last night, from CM Punk. I thought about it was almost all positive that, wow, he's just going to get better. This looks great. This is good. And like I said, if you train to be a 9 out of 9 in cardio and you come back for the first time in front of that many people, you're going to be a 7. I mean, unless you're Superman or something that I don't know about, you're gonna be 7. Oh shit!
$9 for a fuck.
$9, baby. Shout out to Ruby Soho.
I got 9 inches inside of your wife. $9. I'm shooting my semen to the ceiling. I'm coming and my balls have turned blue. $9. Suck my dick.
This isn't even close to the biggest shift we have seen in wrestling. That was Vince when he bought WCW and monopolized wrestling in North America. This event is more low scale obviously, but it's the biggest moment in the last 20 years. No debate.
You know, Soundwave 92, thank you for the $9, bro. And, dude, that's what I just said. I literally was just saying that same thing. That the WCW purchase was the biggest thing besides this, I would say. Serious. That was in 2000, though, right? Or 2001 or 2000. So I guess it was less than 20 years ago. It was like 18 years ago. So I don't even remember the dates. And I was there. So I'll never forget watching Nitro in WWE and we'll never forget seeing Shane walk out at WCW. Like, it was like, what is going on? Holy shit, this is crazy. And it was around that time that people had just almost completely stopped watching WCW anyway. So, you know, but dude, WCW then is better than Raw now. That's what's funny. Like, that WCW show I was more entertained by how terrible that show was than WWE right now. WWE is just so boring. There's nothing that can be done, you know? Jamie in the chat says, what do you think Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, and every surprise? Okay, so I just listened to all the returns a few minutes ago. Or all the debuts, rather, is the word. I just listened to all the debuts. Man, dude, Ruby's pop is huge. I listened back. That was very loud for her. And it was beautifully done. I love the tie-ins. You know what I mean? Not to blow everybody, but, you know, the destination teases of where, what's my destination? She's waiting at the stations and the trains, and, you know, Ruby Soho name comes out. I mean, all the tie-ins to the Rancid song and the character. And, you know, finding out that she knows the guys in the band Rancid now, and they told her, have the song, you know, and that was another funny thing at the press conference. For the people at the press conference to say, hey, Tony, how'd you get the Rancid song? And Tony's like, what's up? She got it. I didn't get it. Tony couldn't pull the deal on the Final Countdown because they wanted $1 million or something. Because, dude, the Final Countdown is a mega song known worldwide. You want a piece of that, it's going to cost you, bro. And Tony Khan wasn't willing to pay $500,000 apparently. So, which, understandable, you know, for a song. Fucking Bryan Danielson probably just assumed donate the $500,000 to the goddamn environment or something like that. If you're gonna, you know, throw that money around on a song, you know, what kind of environmentalist would DB be or Danielson be if he said, yeah, spend $500,000 on a song for me? Instead, you know, you could take that money and, you know, although they're probably his family probably fracks, which doesn't make any sense. So maybe Bryan Danielson can talk to Tony Khan about fracking the like, I don't even know, dude. I just assumed that Khan probably does something conflicting with DBs or DBs or BDs or whatever he is. BD now, big dick. Bryan Danielson and his views on the earth or whatever. But no, it's so. But it was free.
This briefcase
oh
right
shit!
Here. I'ma leave this briefcase right here.
She's big.
I'ma leave this briefcase.
It's a
right
bomb.
Here.
It's a bomb.
I'ma leave this briefcase right here. Come on. I'ma leave this briefcase right here. Son, run, you fat bitch. Run, you fat bitch. Run, you fat bitch. Run, you fat bitch.
Look at Spock.
Run, you fucking fat bitch.
Come on, run. You better run.
Don't you think I'm a fucking terrorist? Run, you fat
Look at that skinny guy. Look at how skinny that man is.
Run, you
He's a
fat
twig.
bitch.
He's a twig, son.
Never run so hard in all your damn life. Run, you fat bitch.
Yo, is that SEMO 313? Is that like SEMO as in SEMO, the OG SEMO? I don't even know. Or that's some other new SEMO. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, man. 1984. That is the year I was born. So nothing is better than 1984. It's the year I was born. And it's also the book we're all living in right now. 1984, man. Thank you so much, bro, for that. Almost $20. You're a beautiful soul, Simo. Thank you so much. There's a couple of different Simos, so I never know which one it is. There's one is it the one that wants to chop my hands off? I don't know. So, Simo, thank you. So, Ruby Soho gets a song for free that this guy just... I hope Tony Khan paid him. You know what I mean? Like, does the guy from Rancid know? Like, that he just gave a song to Ruby? Like, dude, can we get Rancid's lawyer on the phone? Like, the final countdown. Yeah, that's going to be $500,000, Tony Khan. No, thank you. Never mind. Fuck you. Okay, Ruby Soho wants Rancid. Ruby Soho, obviously. You know what, Ruby? We've been friends. This is a great idea. You just have the song. Really? Yeah, just take it, man. I'm going to sign the rights over to you guys, and you can use it. Wow, thank you. Dude, somebody call that motherfucker's lawyer right now. What the fuck, bro? A billionaire. You just gave a song to a billionaire for free. Is Rancid that rich? I don't know. How's Rancid doing? How much money are they worth? Does anybody know? I don't think it's that much. I think they're pretty good. Like, they've got some hits that still make some pennies or something. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude. What the fuck did they hit the lottery? Somebody call fucking Rancid's goddamn attorney right now. You just gave a song to a billionaire for free. I pray to God that they gave him something. Like, please, I hope Tony Khan is that good that Tony Khan said, listen, like, let us buy it off you, at least, here's $50,000 or here's $10,000. Something, for God's sake, you just can't. But that's how punk they are, and that's what real people do. Like, real people go, man, that don't matter. You're a billionaire. We're a band. They're this, that. None of that shit matters. All that matters is our fucking song is being heard, and we love it, and it fits her. We want you guys to have it. We love it. That's a genuine thing to do. That's what a real person would do. That's what nice people do. That's what good people do. And that's a cool thing. And I think that that's what CM Punk is kind of about. And that's what this shit is kind of about. Although he's getting... CM Punk's like rich, and I'm not. And neither are you, by the way. So you can be about it all you want when you're rich. But, I don't know. To me, it's like, that's a noble thing and a cute thing, but please, God, let the billionaire give them some money if they need it. Can you imagine if the guys from Rancid are living in an apartment right now and they don't make a ton and they have a little bit of money, but not really? It's like I don't even know. I don't know what Rancid does right now. I don't know. And they just go, yeah, you have the song. God damn. Give Rancid some money. I hope to God they get something, please. Please pay them. Especially if they just said, here, have the song, guys. We love you. It's okay. Just take it. Whatever. I bet you Tony Khan would do something. He'd be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. Here's $30,000. Give something to somebody since the fucking final countdown wanted $500,000 allegedly or whatever it is, $1 million. By the way, the DB song is good. I like the mix that whoever there was someone tweeted it on Twitter earlier, and I heard the whole song. I don't know if it's going to get copyrighted if I play it or how much of it I can play, but which is too bad because it's great. It's by Born for Greatness by Elliot Taylor. Speed it up a little bit. Let me get away with it. Sounds a little Booker T-ish. Like boom, boom, boom. Then some lyrics are gonna kick in. We didn't hear those last night. At least I didn't. I actually really like it. It's not the same vibe. It's not the same vibe because like Final Countdown is like it's on, like here we go. Like it's on. Like it's like a happy it's on feeling like it's time. Let's do it. Like it's a very upbeat, like pumped up vibe, obviously from the 80s. This is more like the entrance of like a UFC champion or something like that. You know, it's more of a like, I'm the shit. It doesn't quite, it's different. I like it though. It's weird. I like it, but it's like, it's different. It's not the same thing. It's a different vibe, but it's good either way. That's the good thing is that it's like a hero's welcome. It's like a, you know, the guy is here type of thing. So it's not like, let's go. Like, let's go is Final Countdown. This is more like, yo, the guy is here. The champ is here. The man is here. This is the man is here versus let's fucking go. Which is funny because Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson at the end of the show last night said let's fucking go. Someone said it was cringe in the chat. I actually thought it was pretty I didn't think it was cringe. And now sometimes that shit can be cringe. But I don't know. I bought it. He sounded actually fired up. Maybe I can find the video. He was like, let's fucking go. I don't know, man. I was actually I thought it was actually pretty good. I don't know, man, if I can find it. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, he's kind of like, let's fucking go! Like, I see what you're saying now. I still like it. I like it. He's hyped. He does kind of have that fucking. I like it though. He's fired up. This is DBBD Bryan Danielson showing some fire. It's so funny, dude. Remember when he came to WWE and we couldn't stop calling him Bryan Danielson, and now we can't stop calling him Daniel Bryan. Like it's so fucking messed up. You know how that works. That's pretty funny, man. Simo, thanks for funding the show with that 1984 donation, dude. What's up? That is so funny, man. I remember being like, Bryan Danielson's, Bryan Danielson, blah, blah, blah. And like we had to keep fucking up. And now it's, that's just funny. You guys get it. You've heard a million people say this, bro. I think it's the way he steps around in the ring that's freaking you out more than anything. I'm betting. But yeah, when we said this months ago, I said, you know, if they can't get Final Countdown, just make sure you have that Flight of the Valkyrie or whatever song in there somehow. And we agreed that it wouldn't be like, it shouldn't be lame. It shouldn't be the Rocky version he had. It should be something else. And then we got what we got, which is kind of exactly what I expected and hoped for. You know what I mean? I mean, you're never going to be as cool as Final Countdown, but you can keep the essence of what he's been for the last 9 years. At least one of those two things. As long as you can keep the essence of what he was in WWE or what he was before WWE, either one of those is, I think, a win. And we knew that they could keep the essence of his WWE theme because we know that song is open to anybody. It's not owned by anybody, obviously. So it's a song that anybody can create and use and whatever. It's like Sherlock Holmes. You know, nobody owns Sherlock Holmes. You know, anybody can do a Sherlock Holmes movie. So I think Disney did buy that at one point, though, a long time ago. You remember that? Like Disney actually, they rewrote the copyright laws for Disney, which is what they keep doing with Disney all the time, with like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. Disney's a bunch of scumbags, but we know that.
Yes.
And you are obviously thrilled every time you come out to the ring. You've got the crowd around you.
By the way, if you guys want to watch this, it's an hour and 39 minutes. It's on the official AEW channel, on AEW's YouTube channel.
Surfing into the crowd, and there's just a lot of joy around. And that extends both from the audience to kids and adults and us and people watching to you. When you're in the locker room, who are you the most happy to speak with, to work with, to share your knowledge with?
The strippers. The strippers. I'm just kidding. It's not the 80s. I thought it was the 80s. I'm sorry. This is okay. I'm sorry. In the 80s, would have been cocaine.
Or to learn something new from right now in AEW?
Everybody. You know, I mean, Sting came up to me today, and, you know, I don't think these guys are lying, but Sting was just like, you know, it reminded me, your match with Darby reminded me of what Flair did for me. You know, when I went 45 minutes with him, was it in Greensboro? Yeah. I mean, that's a quote from him. And, like, I don't think the dude's going to lie to me. And that means something to a kid like me, you know? Sting and I put together our segment from Dynamite the other day. And it was just refreshing to have him be like, well, no, what do you think? And I was like, no, what do you think? And we went, you know, we did the respectful thing, and then we came together, and I thought, grew our ideas together and made a pretty good segment. And so I'm learning from Sting, which is wild. And there's familiar faces. There's Arn, there's Dean. There's guys like that I will always default to. Guys, what do you think? Jim Ross, what do you think? You know? But I do see younger guys defaulting to me. And, you know, I do think that is a lot of people will tell you that, oh, I love the business, but you know, you got to give back to the business and this and this. I just think it happens organically. If somebody, I'm here to help somebody if they want the help, but I'm also still learning. There was a point where I was like, I'm not learning anything. This isn't any fun, and that's when you know you got to get out. And
Interesting stuff. I mean, that's like on the job, man. It's like when any job, really. You know, there's always someone usually to learn from, or a different department, or you know, somebody older or somebody more experienced. Usually, you know, it's kind of how things go. But there are people that think they're not going to learn anything. He's right. It's time to go. But there's also people that don't think they need to learn anything or can't learn anything. And when you get at that level, too, things... I would assume that was like Shawn Michaels' mindset. And listen, Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. We know this. But I bet HBK was like that in like 1994. I don't think HBK was trying to learn from anybody. I think he was like, I'm the damn shit. The Heartbreak Kid. 1997, 1998, he was like, I'm the shit. Not 98, but like, you know, 96, 95, 97. Shawn Michaels was like, I'm the Heartbreak Kid. Like, he wasn't. He was like, I'm the shit. And that's one of the things, too, that I think does make a star also, that takes you to that next level. You know, and maybe people are learning things and they're teaching when they're a top star, but you're not hearing about it, or you're not realizing that's what they're doing. Or maybe they just don't empathize or share their feelings that way because they're stars in a different era. But, you know, I can't imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, even in the year 2001, can you imagine Stone Cold in a press conference after the wrestling show being like, well, we had the idea that I go out there and he hit me with the chair, and I was like, well, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And then he's like, well, fuck, if you're going to hit me, I'll hit you back. Like, and, you know, just learning from everybody. It's like that would never happen. And, you know, that's one of the things that I will criticize here is the fact that we're even doing this is a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bad idea. Like, I love the idea that I'm able to sit here with you guys and review these guys talking about the backstage situation. But let's make no mistake about it. This does kind of break wrestling in some ways. And I know that maybe some people disagree and whatever. And without this, I wouldn't be sitting here right now being able to have made, $40 so far to right now and earned income for me and my family, and you guys being so nice to donate, earning this $40 so far, and being able to deliver content without this press conference, you know, breaking kayfabe and talking about everything that's really going on. There's really no breaking kayfabe now, I guess, because it's all just so whatever. But that allure to wrestling is gone a little bit. And while I'm not like, you know, somebody losing my mind over that, like Jim Cornette or something like that, freaking out, there is something to be said about, you know, even when The Rock and Triple H and Stone Cold and those guys went on talk shows after, you know, Vince had already kind of said, it's all fake, you know, we all know it's fake and whatever, you know, they would go on shows and still if somebody, you know, Triple H and them would insinuate it, you know, well, it's entertainment and, you know, different things can happen in entertainment, you know, and like they kind of wink at you, but they wouldn't really get into it. Ivan Cage, thank you for subbing to the channel, man. What's up, Ivan? And if somebody said, well, but let's be honest about what it really is, you know, Triple H would be like, you want to be honest about what it really is? You want me to honestly break your arm right now? You know, it's like that protecting of the business made it feel realer. And I think that's why we're not going to get to this mega star level. I don't know if we will. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. The more, all I know is this, regardless of if everybody knows it's a work or not a work, the more you pretend that it's real and the more further you go to pretend you are that character and to be that character, I don't know why, but it works. Everybody can know it's a fake. Everybody can know it's fixed. Everybody can know it's rigged, planned, whatever they want to call it. If you go to lengths to be like, I am this fucking character, it makes it more special. It's like Sami Callihan recently, a few years ago. That guy was that character everywhere. And if you said something to him on an interview somewhere the wrong way, he would snap. Or he would be that guy. And it felt like, man, holy shit, like I got to watch this guy. You know? And maybe that's a bad example because then, well, how many numbers does Sami Callihan draw in? You know, tonight these guys are doing this press conference, but they're drawing bigger numbers than Sami Callihan, who I'm talking about, you know, stayed that character all the time. But there's just something to it. You know, but also there's something to being genuine too that people respect. So, and I think that's kind of what the allure is to a good face. That's what CM Punk knows. That's why when CM Punk, you speak as genuine as possible to the crowd like he does, that's always going to go over well. You know, you kind of doubt yourself a little bit, and that gives the fans a chance to tell you, no, we love you. It's a crazy thing, and CM Punk did it, just like many other people have done it in the past, in the 90s, the 80s. It's a very classic thing that CM Punk has done on his promos. Throwback thing. And it's something that did work, you know, back even in the 80s when a face, a hometown hero or a face or a hero of the company or territory would speak honestly with the crowd. So there is something to it that has always worked in wrestling. So we're kind of spinning the loops of all the possibilities here, at least I am. But it's interesting.
And now I'm back and I'm around creative people that are happy to come to work, and it's a fun, great learning environment.
Tony, can you believe that you did this? Because you're every one of us, right? Only you had money to do
I'm not a White Sox fan.
That's right. Hey, it's your boy here, CM Punk, my boy. Tony, can you believe you pulled this off? Like, you changed the industry.
I didn't. It wasn't. It was everyone. I mean,
it's
we had
everyone,
a group of great people, and especially the fans. I mean, it wouldn't have been possible without all of you, all the great wrestling fans. That everyone made it possible.
But no one. When you look around, you're from this area. When you look around at what this is, I mean, do you ever just like smell the roses? No one else could have done what you did.
Trust me, based on the money Tony Khan has spent, he knows. He smelled the roses all day long. And I said this last night. Listen, I know it's awkward to have someone praise you like this. I'm sure Tony's like happy, but also feels awkward. The bottom line is Tony Khan saw what was going on and decided now's the time to do this. And Tony Khan, man, fuck it. That guy deserves a lot of hugs. I don't give a shit how lame it is. It makes him awkward feeling. But Tony, he's probably not listening to me, but Tony Khan, man, this guy did not have to put up the money for this and do this. This guy has employed people, given people, lots of people jobs, and given us something to talk about besides boring Monday Night Raw and WWE with how boring it is. It's so boring. Thank God Tony Khan has come and done this. He may, in the end, maybe he'll make a profit, maybe he'll take a big loss, or a little loss. He's prepared for that. But either way, we all thank him, because the bottom line is he's giving us something to be entertained by, something to do. He's making profit for me, you, everybody. Without Tony Khan, we all don't have this extra thing to be doing. And he didn't need to do it, and he's probably, like I said, he's probably even or has made no money back. And so it's all because he has that much money to do it. If he was a guy who had a couple of $1 million and this was, he could lose his whole life and he took a gamble on a wrestling company like this, it wouldn't happen. You just wouldn't have done it, or it would be happening in a way different way than this. But because the guy has so much money, he was able to take this gamble during a down period in wrestling. It's kind of it's crazy, man. It's amazing. So whatever it is, good thing it happened, because we would have been much more bored. And who knows? I might be covering only UFC or something at this point, or other sports, or I don't know what I'd be doing, because the landscape is kind of dried up on YouTube for the shock jock stuff that I used to love to do. Can't quite do all that stuff as much anymore. So that kind of was drying up. And yeah, I mean, in wrestling was drying up. And so if this wasn't here, Jesus, I don't know what would be going on.
I don't know if that's true.
Fan who had the means to do this.
Nobody else could have signed CM Punk.
I made a bunch of money.
that is legit.
Then I guess it is.
That is legit.
It's official. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Punk.
Tony, how are you feeling right now?
I've never felt better in my entire life. It's the greatest feeling in my entire life. I've never felt better. I can't believe we pulled it off, and this has been a long time. Like Mr. Punk said, it's been almost 2 years in the making. So it's pretty special, and thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Tony, the word we're all hearing.
Tony's such a sweet guy, man. Like, he wants you to know. And, we made a joke about Tony Khan back with Britt Baker at the end of her match. But, he's just so happy and so excited. And he really enjoys, like, he gets to be next to somebody who's entertaining him and entertaining everybody. And he loves that. And he's showing, I just think he's very empathetic or whatever. He's full of empathy, and he loves conveying it. And that's why I watch his mannerisms a lot. One of the best things that I can do, which is not much, I'm an idiot moron, but it's like I can really see how people communicate. It's very interesting to me. And I've seen him do this stuff off camera, on camera, behind the scenes, when he doesn't know there's a camera. He reaches out and touches someone's shoulder, or he touches someone, or he makes sure that they're looking at him as he's like really delivering this compliment. It's not a lot of people do this. And that's why I bring this up. It's a very interesting character trait of Tony Khan. Watch this.
Could have signed CM Punk. That is
funny, and it's true.
Legit.
Then I guess it is.
That is legit.
It's official. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Punk.
Tony, how are you feeling right now?
I've never felt better in my entire life. It's the greatest feeling in my entire life.
I've got a theory that the wider Tony Khan's eyes open up, the more happy elated he is.
I've never.
And now Punk reaches out to give him a pat first.
Felt better.
And now his eyes he has to rest his eyes there, because he had his eyes so wide open a minute ago, because he loves eye contact. Tony Khan is a wonderful communicator with eye contact. He looks directly at you when you're speaking to take in everything you're saying to him, and he also enjoys delivering that eye contact back to you, which not everybody does that. In fact, a lot of people don't always do that. They look away, they look around, they think of this, that, and the other thing. He really I don't know, man. He just syncs up with you.
I can't believe we pulled it off, and this has been a long time. Like Mr. Punk said, it's been almost 2 years in the making, so it's pretty special, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Now watch him. The thank yous, he's trying to make eye contact. He continues to. Now, some people would call this sexual assault. That's fine. But no, it's really that he wants to make eye contact with Punk as he thanks him because he's serious. He's connecting with Punk here, which not everybody's like this. So even Punk is like a little bit like this is awkward, but in a good way. Like, okay, yeah, I really believe you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We're all hearing on social.
And see, now that people are going to make jokes. See, Tony has still not broken eye contact. Punk has broken eye contact. But Tony has not broken eye contact yet. Because this is a very loving face. You know, he has still not broken eye contact. CM Punk has broken it because it's uncomfortable for most people to receive that much honesty, empathy, and love in public from a guy like that. It's very strange, you know, for some people. But I think it's just Tony Khan's, like, actual love and empathy coming out of him.
Social media tonight is.
Now he breaks to look for the next person speaking. Punk is like, all right, this is weird. I think he just tried to fuck me. No, but it's definitely gonna ensue some jokes, but
perfection.
Or that's the wrong word, but whatever.
I
have a high school diploma, so I don't have a high school diploma, which is why I'm sitting here not employed by WWE and not employed by AEW and not employed by a hockey team or some team, and I'm not working for the news. That's why I'm sitting here on YouTube to you guys. Without YouTube, I'd be dead. I may still be dead at some point soon. But it's okay. Look at Punk. Oh, my God. Look at this. I love this. What is this?
I want to know what you think now that do you feel like you've climbed Mount Everest tonight? Because this was an amazing show in front of a hot crowd that could not have been happier walking out. Is there a letdown for a creative guy like yourself after?
I thought that was Dave Meltzer, but it's not Dave Meltzer. It's somebody else, but it really sounded like him.
A night like
it always feels like, I mean, if you plan something and it comes off exactly like you wanted it to come off, which is great, and it's great, then that's the best feeling in the world. I've worked in sports a long time, and I've had some great moments in sports.
Go Jags!
And playoff wins, beating the Steelers in Pittsburgh in the playoffs, and this is one of the best feelings in the world. I can't compare it to anything, and it came off perfectly. It is what.
Poor Tony Khan, he's got to be careful here, because if he says this is the best thing ever, like then, and I understand if you know sports and sports teams and stuff, and being a Red Sox fan in a Boston market that I am, I know about the Red Sox ownership owning football teams in Europe and things like that. You got to be careful with what you say, because if your team isn't doing good and you're out there saying, AEW, this is all I care about. I love AEW. This was the best night of my life. The Jaguars fans are going to get angry. The Jacksonville fans are going to get upset if something happens, and they're going to be like, listen, our owner doesn't care about our team. He just cares about fucking wrestling now. And Tony Khan and this other football team, he just cares about wrestling. This guy don't give a shit. Like, that's why we suck. So he's got to be careful not to say, like, this is better than all the football. So the fact that he's inserting that, and he's even wearing the Jags, shirt that he wears, is actually, like, first of all, I think it's honest. I think he really does love the team, and I think he loves his sports he owns. Of course he does. But it's also important to weirdly convey that to the football fans so that they know you didn't forget about them. And that's a balance that, you can sit there and not understand what I'm saying right now, but if you're a sports fan, you must know what I'm saying is true. You know what I mean? If you're a Jaguars fan and you're just fired up about the Jags and they're losing and Tony Khan is just like jerking off wrestling, you're going to get pissed off and you're going to be like, this guy he doesn't even give a shit. That's why we suck. Or if they made a bad move, like, oh, it's because he doesn't even pay attention. So I'm just saying that the one Jaguars fan out there, you're going to piss them off if you don't do the right thing. So I understand with Tony Khan. I like that he knows how to balance the right thing. He knows how to make sure he brings up his babies, which is good.
Whatever the opposite of a letdown is, this is the opposite of a letdown. Thank you.
Tony, can you buy the Bears?
Can
Can I ask the last question?
Well, last question, I would use it for, don't ask me, use it for Punk because.
Tony, can I ask the last question really quick?
Yeah, but ask him because I'm staying.
Yeah, a good point by Tony. Tony's going to be here the whole press conference, so get your questions to Punk. I'll be here. Ask me later.
Already asked me a question.
Oh, then it's somebody else. Then ask
two
it. I'm
more
sorry.
two more
Give Punk
questions.
Two more
Dave,
questions.
let's-
Two real quick questions. Okay, number one.
Yep.
Very nice of Punk to call on Dave Meltzer. How sweet. Punk's like, no, we'll do two more. I'll do two more. And Dave, and he called out Dave Meltzer, so that's nice of Punk.
What was the day or
Dave Meltzer's whole life depends on wrestling. That's what that's what his job is. So fuck all these other yahoos. You know, they're doing it for their part-time. Hey, my whole life depends on wrestling, Punk. Can I get a question? My 3 kids depend on this show. Can I get a question, Punk? Please. Even though you blocked me years ago on Twitter. I love
Shit
I really do like Punk, though.
You become a shit bomb.
Oh, BD Skeleton, man, thank you so much for the $1, bro. What's up? BD Skeleton is an OG at this point. It's really good to hear from you. Why have I switched to drinking Poland Spring water? It's because the coffee is starting to kick in, and I'm starting to ramble, and my anxiety is going to kick in. I'm going to get a goddamn anxiety attack. I got to be careful. I got a little bit of coffee left, though. I drink black, hot coffee for the people that are always asking. It's always, whoa, I spilled some of it. Black, hot coffee. And the reason is because I need to get that fatty liver down, you know? And I need the fuel to be a psycho. And I need to watch, I think I need to watch the sugar, you know? There may come a time where I'm at a wrestling show and I'm doing commentary, and then somebody says, we need you to go in the ring and have a match against a murderer. And I'll need to be in shape for that, you know? It's been a while since I've been in the ring. So I'll just work on it. My cardio right now is about a 2. So if I were to get in the ring, it would be a 0, and I would probably go to the hospital. So for all the people that think Punk looked blown up, nobody really thought that. Only a couple people said something. For all the people that thought maybe Punk was a little tired last night, Joe Cronin would die in the ring. And like I said, it's the law of cardio. If you work out for a 10 out of 10 in cardio and you go in first time in front of 1 million people or thousands of people, it's a 7. If you work out to have a 7 out of 10 cardio, it's going to be a 4 or 5. Just the law of cardio. CM Punk last night, his cardio, thumbs up. You got to give it a thumbs up. If it was a 7 or an 8 out of 10, are we really judging that? If we are, well, fuck it. I'm giving you a thumbs up, Punk. If you're listening, you're not, but and who the fuck cares what I'd say about it? We don't really know. Only he really knows. And from what I could see, you really couldn't tell. So that's all you need to know. It was just funny that was a question early on in the press conference. And so it's become a thing that people are talking about. But the good news for Punk and for everybody is that for a guy after 7 years to come back, his cardio was pretty good, you know? I think that, you know, like HBK when he came back at SummerSlam after 4 years off, his cardio was unbelievable, but that guy was still working out, you know, doing things. You know, part of that, you know, yeah, he was hurt. His back was really hurt, but not, you know what I mean? He was kind of fucking around. The guy was in the twilight of his career. And he has a different build than Punk. I think Punk is a different style in the ring at this point. Nobody will ever be HBK as far as that goes. That return match against Triple H. I mean, CM Punk was having matches on the indies. HBK was having a match on the indies.
You become a shit bomb.
WWE Roy's Bone Dry Born.
Listen, BD Skeleton, you're not wrong. Tonight's going to be rough to get through. It's going to be hard to get through Raw tonight, let's be honest. I get it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to stay awake. Raw's coming up. We're going to be live right here in 5 hours. After Monday Night Raw, we'll be live right here on the Joe Cronin Show. I hope you guys subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys hit that like button and all that. I love this press conference. Great camera shot. You guys can hear this whole thing on AEW's channel on YouTube.
Dick frame where you flip the switch where you decide.
Dick?
I'm going to come.
Whoa, wait. Oh my God, I'm 10. I'm fucking a 14-year-old. I can't believe this. Oh my God, I just realized what I just said. Oh my God, I'm like a sophomore in high school right now. I heard Dave Meltzer say dick and cum. And I'm pretty sure I just said something that you could clip that's fucked up.
Can I ask the last question?
Well, last question, I would use it for. Don't ask me. Ask you.
Meltzer said something about dick and cum. That's all I heard.
Use it for Punk because.
Tony, can I ask the last question really quick?
Yeah, but ask him because I'm staying.
She already asked me a question.
Oh, then it's somebody else. Then ask
Two more.
Oh, she goes, Tony, can I ask him the last question? And then Punk, whoever that girl was, Punk just suckered you. She already asked me a question, he said to Tony. I love it. CM Punk. See, this is what I like about Punk. This is like the guy at the concert, the rock concert, who sees a girl being molested, and instead of just doing the show, he goes, no, hey, that guy's the fuck out of here. I love that shit. CM Punk is doing that right here. That girl was like, can I ask the last question, Tony? I'm sexy. And CM Punk's like, she already asked me a question. She already asked me one. I love that. Breaking this down is amazing. I love doing this. I'm going to do this every time if I'm not at the press conference. When Cody Rhodes gave me the tickets to AEW Boston, they said there was going to be a press thing, but there wasn't. I don't know why, but maybe it was because there wasn't a lot of press. I'm not sure. But I was there, and I thank AEW so much for that press pass, man. It was a fun show. I had a great time. It was very nice of Cody Rhodes and Brandy to come on and to do that. And to everybody that works at AEW, the people behind the scenes are amazing. The women that coordinated some of that and the producers and the people in charge of press and talent just all were so cool to me. Love this. I'm sure this was a great event as well. Let's now make fun of it some more.
Can I ask the last question?
Well, last question, I would use it for. Don't ask me. Use it for Punk because.
Tony, can I ask the last question really quick?
Yeah, but ask him because I'm staying.
She already asked me a question.
Oh, then it's
She already asked me a question.
somebody else. Then ask
Two more questions.
Two more.
And CM Punk is like, all right, we can't just let Dave Meltzer not ask a question. So let's get Dave. I got a lot of respect for Punk on that.
Okay. Two real quick questions. Okay, number one is that what was the day or frame where it flipped the switch where you decided I'm gonna come?
Guys, I'm making a donation to Dave Meltzer's face, and I'm gonna come. I mean, we got to do it, okay? I'm a sophomore. I've got to do it. Absolutely got to do it. How punk was this AEW, by the way? Ruby Soho, Rancid, Darby Allin's awesomely cool sort of punk goth little helicopter body bag intro.
I don't know. I would have to. There for sure was a day, but I'd have to think back on that. I mean, they were in the middle of the pandemic. I've already said it that the locker room and the situation with Brody Lee's passing, I think, made me really go, oh, that's different. Just people being respectful and tight-lipped about a personal situation where there's kids and a wife involved. Like I was floored. I was friends with Brody. You know what I mean? So it's just like that means a lot. And it goes far with a guy like me who came up in this business, and you always hear things like, oh, the boys, they're family. It's your family. It's your family. And
they're all a bunch of backstabbers. They're all a bunch of backstabbers, and Punk knows it. Not everybody, but typically there's a bunch of backstabbers. And there's a bunch of cliques, and there's a bunch of people who would love to see you fall into fire. And that's what he's talking about. And by the way, that's why he blocked me on Twitter years ago. Because I retweeted somebody's tweet of his wedding photo, which was a private thing, apparently, we didn't all think about. And he was like, fuck this. And probably, would have had respect for somebody who is like, oh, I'm not going to tweet that out. That's like the guy's wedding. Like, you're weird. Why are you doing this? And I think he respects that type of thing, which is why he did not respect what I did, which sucks for me. But I understand, and I respect that Punk is that mindset, and that's just the way he is. So this is 100% true. I heard someone the other day say, like, oh, this is just, he's like, you know, virtue signaling a guy's death, which I saw someone saying that the other day, and I was like, what the fuck? That would be fucking crazy if he was doing that. But I was like, no, man, this is literally what I know he felt this way because he thinks like this about people because there's so many shitty people that he's on the lookout for the shitty people. And he can tell, like, just by little things. Even in people's Twitter patterns, he can tell who the fucked up people are, you know, easily. So I already know this is his mindset. So I don't think that's true. Whoever said that, I mean, that was a crazy thing. But I know it's not true because of how he treated me on Twitter years ago. This is the way the guy operates, you know, and so I obviously believe this story. He knew the guy, but I just thought that was weird. I saw some articles about some people being like, oh, is it all just, I'm like, wow, those people are never going to be invited to something. Like, I'll tell you that. That was some dangerous writing by those people.
Never ever been like that. People will use that to their advantage and take advantage of other people, and to actually see that, but them not boasting about it, to me, was special. And then you see that and you're like, oh man, maybe there's something to that. You know, maybe it's not all the negative stuff that I remember.
Magic, thank you for subbing to the channel, man. What's up? Well, I think a lot of this starts with Tony Khan's empathy. We talked about it a minute ago. Tony Khan's eye contact that he makes with people when he's really paying attention and when he's really trying to deliver a real, heartfelt, meaningful, emotional message to somebody, and he's empathizing and he's empathy and he's reaching out with his feelings. It all starts at the top. You know, the same way that Tony Khan will understand that there are some people who were offended by Max Caster's rap, but at the same time, he loves Max Caster. So, you know, he tries to do the right thing almost by everybody. Okay, let's have him off TV for a little bit and figure out how we're going to go forward with this in the future. But I also love Max Caster, so he's certainly not fired. And, you know what I mean? It's my fault as well. You know, so I gave Tony Khan shit. I was really upset. I felt like they threw Max Caster under the bus when I thought he was fired. I thought Max Caster was fired. I really did believe that. That's why I paid for his cameo. Because I thought, like, this guy's out of a job. Like, let's keep his name fresh a little bit here. You know, and then he did that party in Chicago. But that was all planned out and okayed, I guess, or whatever. And now he's back and everything's all right. So it's like Tony seems genuine to me in that respect, that like, okay, like, I'm gonna acknowledge some people are angry, but also I'm not gonna just throw fucking Max Caster off the boat. So that means a lot to me. I was very concerned that Max Caster was just gonna be, you know, and I still think, in my opinion, that they should have told anybody that was upset about that rap to piss off. You know, that's me. But I'm not as empathetic as Tony Khan is. I'm not. I am a little bit, but I'm not. I would have said, dude, listen, that joke, hey, Max, probably, like, let's not do, like, fucking weird rape jokes about, you know, Duke Lacrosse. Like, that's the line. Like, let's not do that, like, at the fucking charity event thing. But I would have defended him. I would have said, yeah, he's a bad guy, man. And listen, sometimes we have bad guys in the business, and he's pretty bad on the mic. You know, we're not happy about it. We've talked to him. We fined him. And going forward, you know, we don't expect to see something that crude again. Anybody that was offended, you know, we certainly are sorry about that. And sometimes that happens in wrestling. And that's what I would have said if I was Tony Khan. Fuck you if you don't like it. Well, fuck off, pussy. But that's me. Tony Khan is more empathetic than I am. But now that I know that Max Caster's not fired and that he was just cooled down a little bit, I have a little bit more. I'm very happy that that's not anyway, I'm happy that that's the turnout.
From being in a locker room.
Somebody timestamped my rant about Triple H last night because we're going to get into that later. And that's something that I'm going to post as well. Triple H does not give a shit. Triple H does not give a goddamn about NXT, because if Triple H gave a goddamn about NXT, he wouldn't have let this happen. You wouldn't let Adam Cole get away. You wouldn't let WWE, Vince McMahon, Barry Cross, your champion on Raw. Okay? If I'm Triple H and I work for WWE and I'm rich as fuck and I'm set to take over this company potentially, and Vince McMahon brings out my NXT champion and does that first night, and he loses like that, my champion comes out and looks like that, no Scarlett Bordeaux, no fucking cool entrance, champion gets pinned, goofed by Jeff Hardy, a guy who just assumed get drunk and run somebody over, you can fuck off. I'm driving down to fucking Connecticut, and I'm kicking that fucking door in on Vince McMahon's weird leopard sex walls, and I'm fucking grabbing Vince McMahon by the tie, and I'm pulling him into my face, and I'm saying, you either fix this or I quit. That's what I do. I put my big, fat, dick-sized nose in Vince McMahon's face, and I say, Vince, it's either you do this or I'm out of here. You can have Bruce Pritchard's ass run NXT. You can have somebody else run NXT, but you ain't doing this to my fucking championship. You ain't burying my champion, my championship, my product that I spent the last 5 years building up, 6, 7 years building up, whatever it's been now. Doesn't matter. You are not going to do this. You're not going to do this. Bullshit you do that to my baby. You know why Triple H didn't do that? And you know why this is all happening to NXT? Number one, AEW killed NXT. And that's a fact. It's not anybody else. It's AEW killed NXT. And number two, Vince McMahon killed NXT and has been killing it for a long time. And number three is 3 reasons. Triple H let it happen. All the people that are defending Triple H, oh, poor Triple H. Bullshit. Bullshit. Oh, poor Triple H. Poor Triple H. Oh, Triple H is freaking out right now. Vince McMahon's pissing his pants right now. No. They don't give a damn. Triple H doesn't give a goddamn. Because if Joe Cronin is in charge, or if Dan Cronin, my real self, right, my actual me, if Joe Cronin is in charge of NXT, the ratings are going up. If Joe Cronin is the commentator for NXT, the ratings are going up. If Joe Cronin is in charge of the decisions in WWE, the ratings are going up. If I'm in charge of anything, the ratings are going up. Because guess what? If most of you are in charge of it, it's going up. So I know if I'm in charge of it, the ratings are going up. And I know that if I'm Triple H in NXT, there ain't a hope in hell Vince McMahon has of keeping me and all my buddies in charge of NXT. I'm gone. Shawn Michaels is gone. We're all gone, Vince. And yeah, oh, what will Road Dogg do for work? Fuck it. I'm a millionaire. I'll give Road Dogg $1 million. I'll give them all a severance package. Guys, we're done. I'm taking it for the team. I'm calling Vince out. I'm going to flip the fuck out. I'll give you all guys $500,000. Good luck in life. I'm blowing it up. This ain't happening. We ain't going to be fucking reading Rainbow. We ain't going to be reading Rainbow. We ain't going to be losing all of our talent to AEW. We're not going to be fucking doing this Vince McMahon horse shit. That's if you guys are in charge. That's certainly if I'm in charge. Triple H is on board. Triple H is on board with this. Triple H ain't saying shit. Ain't doing nothing. Paul Levesque ain't doing nothing. Nothing. I never want to see another tweet about, oh, Triple H cares. Triple H must be losing it. Triple H is... He let it happen. I don't want to see another tweet about Triple H, poor Triple H, or this is what they did to Triple H. No, they didn't do anything to Triple H. He let it happen. Fact. I know it, and you know it deep down. He doesn't care anymore enough. He doesn't care enough. He goes, you know what, damn it. All right, Vince, do whatever. That's what he did. All right, Vince, do whatever. I'm rich. You put Joe Cronin in charge of NXT and pay me $100,000 a year? My life on the line with $100,000. When I say only $100,000, that'd be a lot of money. But I mean, compared to what Triple H makes running it, it's Triple H makes like 500,000, 200,000, 300,000, millions shares. Doesn't work. Whatever. Okay, Vince, whatever you want. You put Joe Cronin in charge of that shit. My life's on the line. You're gonna see some shit change pretty quickly. You put me on a commentary booth to call the action, I will call that shit the way it deserves to be called. Unlike Vic Joseph fucking Nosferatu. Anyway, let's go back to the press conference. Lost my mind there for a minute.
I'd have to really think, but that was the big one. Honestly, that was the big one because that I remember just texting Tony and just being like, I'm amazed that this got out. Like what a tragic thing, and everybody kept it secret, and that went a long way with me.
And one other thing is, this is a match that nobody's really thought of, but
go get it. Oh no, I skipped ahead. Fuck.
About a personal situation to that.
Damn it, Dave Meltzer. I'm sorry, I skipped your question.
Maybe it's not all the negative stuff that I remember from being in a locker room.
Listen, some of that's still there. It's going to be there still a little bit. You know what I mean? But you can definitely tell that AEW has a very it's a very unpoisoned locker room at this time. You can tell. There's going to be problems. There's always going to be problems. But you can tell that it is a much happier place, locker room, sincere and trusting place right now than almost anywhere. You can pretty much see it. I'm sure there are some people who feel ostracized in the company at this point, potentially, a little bit, but I don't know.
I'd have to really think, but that was the big one. Honestly, that was the big one because I remember just texting Tony and just being like, I'm amazed that this got out. Like what a tragic thing, and everybody kept it secret, and that went a long way with me.
And one other thing is, this is a match that nobody's really thought of, but tonight when you went face to face with Sting, it's like, okay, you grew up. Sting was a big star. Sting's at a certain age. I don't know, but is there something like a bucket list thing where I'd love to have this on my resume that I once wrestled on a pay-per-view with Sting, or I once wrestled in a big match with Sting?
I've had such. I hate saying.
Where's Bill Apter at?
Saying the word blessed. I'm not a religious guy. I've had such an amazing life where I've found myself in situations where I would just always kind of look around and be like, man, this is wild. And without ever having a bucket list, it'd be hard for me to write things down on the bucket list because I've done so many cool things. But that's one of them. That's a bucket list thing. It's an item.
I've had that moment on YouTube, where when I first hit 5,000, 10,000 subs, I was like, I can't believe, that there's this many people watching. We're like, this is crazy. This is on a super small scale, right? This is not even close to what CM Punk is talking about, but I just know that that's a pretty crazy feeling. I don't have that feeling that Punk has, but I mean, I'm pretty crazy. When you see 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people listening to you on a live stream you created, when you can't get into radio, it's pretty crazy. That's cool, man. I think we might see something with Sting coming up.
They love wrestling and they want to be entertained, and there's been some great shows here. I was on them. I was on a few of them, and then I just feel like we got the pulse of the whole place. Like to me, I mean, what's next? Wrigley Field, Soldier Field. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. And
Let's
you
go.
guys, thank you all very much. And again, I have to say that
Let's fucking go.
None of this would have been possible tonight. The company had been doing.
That'll be the next pay-per-view. AEW, let's go. That's totally something they would do. At Let's Go, Sting takes on Let's Go, and it's like a metal song. No, please don't do that. But that's pretty funny. Like go is like, oh, and they could use my son as the thing. Gavin going, let's go. Fuck, man, I got to find that clip of Gavin, poor kid. Oh, my son got a PlayStation the other day, finally. It was his Christmas gift last year, and he didn't get it because obviously everything was fucked. And Grammy said she was going to buy him a PlayStation, and so she did. And the other day she gave it to him. She finally got one. Took her, I don't know, my mom really wanted to give it to him, so she did. And he didn't say let's go like he did when he was on the zip line. Let's go. But he was excited, and it's kind of funny. So we can all laugh at that right now. So what we did was we gave him a box, and we go, Grammy got you something to keep you entertained. It's his birthday, by the way. So this is like a double birthday and Christmas present. And my mother wanted to give it to him, so I said, we were like, let's play a trick on him. So we put an old PlayStation in a box, and he's like, oh my God, and he opens it up. He goes, oh, I know what this is. Wait, I know what this is. And what he was trying to say is, I know that you're goofing me. But he didn't think there was a PlayStation. He just thought we were ribbing him. Like, he just thought he was getting ribbed that this is the PlayStation. And then he was like, oh. And then he wasn't sure if we were ribbing him. So then he started selling like, oh, I like it. It's great. He goes, I know what you're doing. And then we're like, what do you mean? What are we doing? And he's like, oh, no, this is really cool, actually. And like he was trying to like be nice, and then we started laughing, and then he went, wait, I know what you guys did. And we're like, yeah, haha, got you. And he's like, then he got up to go in the kitchen to get something to drink, because he believed that we were just ribbing him that, oh, look, a PlayStation, and then he didn't think that we actually got one, which was funny. I thought he would immediately know, like, oh, well, there's a real one here somewhere. He didn't think that. He thought, oh, wow, he thought we were that mean, that we were going to fake that the PlayStation 5 was out and he got one and we didn't have one. He actually thought we were that mean. And then we're like, no, check this out. And then he was like, oh.
Oh my God! Holy crap! Oh my God!
Then he sits on my daughter because he's so excited he doesn't even look where he's sitting, and then sits on sleeping daughter.
Oh my God! Holy crap! Oh my God!
No Christmas present last year, but you only had to wait 9 months. Some people, whatever. To put things in perspective, donate to your local food bank, man. There's a lot of people that still need help. $20 can feed a bunch of families for like a week. You can feed like 10 families for a week with $20. It's crazy. Donate to your local food banks. It's one of the best. It's like I think the money goes the best to those places sometimes. So many people need food still. Bring that up when your grandmother buys you a $500 video game system. Check out your local food banks and the national ones. It's really cool. $30 a month. Everybody can do it who has a good job. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that was fun. That was funny shit.
Been great. We had a lot of momentum. We were very hot, but the person who made us reaching these new high heights, bringing this new interest, and changing our company and changing all.
Tony Khan's going to put over CM Punk here again, and then. I love that the belt, Penta's belt, is covered in his blood. Like, look at the title, bro. It's covered in blood. I love it. Let me just tell you something real quick about this match. First of all, the match was so good. obviously from the beginning to end and the way it built up. When they were about to lose and it was broken up and the Young Bucks didn't win when people thought it might be over and the crowd just exploded to that next level, that was when that match reached new heights. And then they did all this cool shit after that. So it was really unbelievable what happened. And what made it even better, and I'm not trying to be cheesy. I'm not a cheesy person, really. I saw Triple Mania. I saw one of the guys get in the ring with his daughter. It wasn't really that emotional to me. It was like, okay, that's interesting. Nice, cool. But this match, at the end of it, the shot of Penta's kids coming over to him, or his kid. I think it was 2 kids. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up how many kids he has. I have 3 kids, so I don't know. He has 2 maybe. His daughter, and they're crying and like worried about him, and they're coming to give him a hug, and he's bleeding and all these things. That was an amazing shot. Like, that moment spiked it again. It was just like layer on layer on layer on layer of beautiful things. The Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks have done, whether you like the style or you don't like the wrestling style or whatever the case is, these guys have tried their hardest to just entertain the shit out of us and put their bodies on the line, very much on the line, like doing some crazy risky shit in these matches that they've had over the last 6 years that I've seen. And this was like a weird culmination of it all, and beautiful moment with the family. It just kind of added to the celebration. They get a special entrance. The match is what it was, and they get this moment at the end. Just all of it. You can't. It's hard to recreate this, at this point, what happened. And seeing the blood on that belt is hilarious. I think that is wild.
En los campeonatos aquí en AEW.
En español, no habla español. Me llamo Daniel. Buenos tardes, señor. Lucha libre. That's about all I know.
De verdad, ¿cómo se siente para ustedes sabiendo todo que hicieron para llegar a este momento? Something about a moment? I don't know. Somebody in the chat translate. How do you feel about this? It's something about how you feeling in this moment, or this time, or this. Tell us about how you feel right now. Something like that. Somebody in the chat translate that. What is that? Is it my Spanish is really bad. Somebody in the chat know this shit? Come on. Somebody in the chat speaks Spanish. Habla español? Hablo español? Por favor? Escucha pee-pee. Who's got it? How do you feel about the moment and journey getting here? Thank you. I was close. Thank you. Yeah, okay.
Son 15 años que tenemos nosotros de carrera, como bien lo mencionas. Vendíamos máscaras afuera de la Arena México. Nos dormíamos en un metro cuando nos tocaba ir a una lucha y antes no existía ninguna forma de transporte.
He's something about the journey and something about getting to the show. It's something about, what happens with the masks and the transportation, or the journey, or getting there from Mexico to Chicago, and how he felt. I don't know, somebody, whatever.
Y mi hermano y yo nos quedábamos a dormir en el metro, afuera del metro, para esperar que amaneciera y poder tomar transporte a nuestra casa. Y todo ese proceso ha sido lo que...
Is he going to get translated? This is too much.
¿Cómo se siente derrotar uno de los equipos más grandes en el mundo y cómo te va a dar ánimo para defender los campeonatos?
Very important point. It's the Young Bucks. It's one of the best rivals we had. I think versus
the Young Bucks are. Dude, the Young Bucks rivalry with the Lucha Bros. Like, this is one of there's really no tag team rival. There's no tag team rivalry of our time, of the last 10 years, right? Or something like that. This is it. This is it, guys.
You know, the last ones I can really remember, maybe you guys know one that I don't remember, but the last one is like the TLCs, like the Edges and Christians and the Dudleys and the Hardy Boys and all that stuff. They're the last tag teams that really, maybe there's some other time that I'm missing. But since then, unless there's maybe one thing I'm missing in there, this is the best tag team rivalry in 15 years, maybe. I think. Unless I'm missing something.
Phase 2 John Bucks is the best matches the Lucha Brothers we have. We feel so sorry, a lot of feelings. It's like it's incredible. It's incredible. I don't have words. It's incredible. Like
it's hard for some people in English to have the words, let alone when your second language, you know?
It's amazing.
You guys talked about your heritage and your country being important to you. I saw you guys both do the sign of the cross and stuff like that. Talk about your faith a little bit and how much that means to you, like going into wrestling and matches and stuff like that.
¿Cómo se siente?
Well, I think they've got a lot of faith because you have to have some of it when you're taking those risks.
I
mean, hey, the Young Bucks have it too. Aren't they? They're fairly religious too, aren't the Young Bucks? So, I mean, they've got that sort of. I never thought about that they've got this connection a little bit, don't they? Is that true? If I'm being wrong, if I'm incorrect, somebody correct me. But I think the Young Bucks are fairly religious as well, right? So both these teams really have this connection. If I'm not mistaken.
Muy importante para nosotros, ya que en cada uno de los shows nosotros arriesgamos la.
I think he's talking about how important it is to him and that they do this all the time when they're at rest performing. I don't know. Sorry. My Spanish is horrific.
So Penta says that they're very connected to their faith. It's very important for them to do that
every time they go to the show. Yep, so I was right. Okay, thank you.
And
Yes! Sí! Todos los días! I will be there, my daughter, at your quinceañera, to be the dad you want me to be, your papi, in front of all you muchachas.
Sorry, I'm being weird. I mean, but no, my son the other day said, "Oh, they're teaching us either Spanish or French, you know." And I said, "Dude, you better take Spanish. There ain't no chance in hell you're ever gonna need French. Don't take fucking French. You ain't. What are you gonna do? Drive to France, this tiny little country? Le pepe le desoir. You're not gonna fucking use it, okay? Learn Spanish. You can use that. There's a whole fucking country right below us, and they're coming up into the country. You're going to be able to do a lot more with Spanish. Take Spanish. Kids, are you listening out there? Take Spanish. First of all, you shouldn't be listening to me if you're younger than 18. Or 16 or whatever. Let's be real, though. I was listening to Howard Stern when I was 12. But the bottom line is, take Spanish. You're going to use it. It's going to come in handy. Don't take French. And don't listen to me because I failed school. So let's also be honest about that. Oh, what a day. I've been streaming longer than I expected, I'll tell you that. What's up, chat? We're going to be live for the Monday Night Raw review tonight. Let's get to Ruby. Let's get to Ruby Soho before we have to go. We miss this. Anyway, Lucha Brothers, love them, man. Bless their hearts, their fucking families for putting on that fucking performance that was just goddamn fire. Thank you so much, man. They really did a wonderful job. Young Bucks, and of course, Lucha Brothers, thank you. Great shit. And now it's time for Ruby Soho.
And I think it'd be great.
You have written like this new story of your new career in AEW, but the next chapter is Britt Baker. What does that chapter look like for you?
Oh God, I don't know what it is, but when people ask questions like, "You've just written this new chapter in your life. What's the next page of the book look like?" Go fuck yourself. I'm sorry. Listen, there's probably a sweet lady who asked that. It's just so goofy. I mean, hey, listen, you've had such a a good career everywhere you've gone. What's this one? I don't know. Maybe you can't. Maybe there's no other way to ask it, but to say chapter. It just sounds I don't know why. It just sounds weird to me. I don't know. Goofy. This chapter in your life is transitioning. Like, it's just, what the fuck?
Tonight was definitely about the feat that I had before me, which was quite a few incredibly talented women that I have studied for a very long time.
The women really. I went back and watched again. The women did a good job, for the most part, last night. I mean, Britt Baker and Statlander had a great match, and then this Rumble was entertaining. They did a good job.
I've been a fan of myself for a very long time, so I knew I was up against a lot to get to this opportunity. Having been through this very, very, very long, almost 11-year journey to get here, to get to this moment, to get to the legitimate pinnacle of my entire wrestling career, which was tonight, and gain the opportunity at the AEW Women's Championship is the most special and significant thing in the world to me. And I don't plan on wasting any time because it's been 11 years. I'm going to hit the ground running, and I'm coming for Britt Baker, whether she likes it or not.
I think Ruby, while she was in WWE, and that was amazing, I'm sure, and she loved it, and she enjoyed it in NXT and WWE, that adrenaline rush that happened the other night for her, that crowd, and it starts with the Destination videos, right? You're seeing that, you're understanding Destination, Ruby Soho, she's coming, I think, and then this match is set up, the Joker card. Oh, shit! Ladies and gentlemen, it's Andale Peasy!
He's wearing Depends, forgetting his pen, forgetting his friends. Ah! Is this how it ends? But we'll still pretend the fighting can defend. Oh, it's a weekend of violence. No matter what they say, we can make it talk today. Here he goes.
I'll write all the new AEW music.
It's America he hates.
Rhymes Galore video drops tomorrow and will be available on all major streaming platforms. Hope you're all ready. Cook. Hashtag CSAMI, hashtag unsteadyrecords.com.
On unsteadyrecords.com, that is our buddy Andale Peasy from Buffalo, New York, who's been dropping fire recently. And by the way, we will go out tonight with one of his songs, with his last song. I love it. Love his last rap video. It's great. New shit's coming. I'm going to pump it up all week. Andale Peasy, man. I love you, brother. Great shit, dude. I like his music. Like, I actually like it. There was a couple of his older songs that I was like, pretty good, but not, I don't think I'd like listen to it all the time, but pretty good. But the last few things that he's released, I'm like, that is fucking good to me. Like, I really like it. I like all his stuff, though, in some way. So, and that's not because he donated $10, because you'd have to donate $1,000 to get me to fake suck your dick, okay? It'd have to be about $1,000 for me to fake suck you off. And don't get triggered. We used to have a Donald Trump donation where we made fun of Donald Trump, too. I make fun of all the presidents. It's not a left or right thing. Don't worry, everybody. All the left-leaning people out there, don't worry. We shit on Trump as well. I missed the Trump donation. That was a lot of fun. But now it's time for a nice Biden one. Anyway, back to Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho!
Talked about, obviously your name. And then the music you came out to. Talk how that felt coming out to, Rancid and everything like that. And Tony, that maybe you can elaborate too on how it's
where Tony's like, I didn't buy it.
Is for like just getting the music and all that stuff in there, I guess.
So I have been a fan of Rancid for a very, very long time.
By the way, Andale Peasy, man, thank you for that $10, dude. Andale keeping this stream running. Let's just keep the stream running. He's paid for another half hour.
And coincidentally enough, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of punk fans are big wrestling fans. And Lars and I had became friends over the last couple years. And
I stalked him. I stalked him. I stalked him. Just say it, Ruby. Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Kind of like how guys stalk wrestlers in the gyms. They go to the gyms, they work out, and just look around for wrestlers to be like, I've been thinking about getting in the business. Yeah, I was thinking, I did some wrestling, and I just got out of it a little bit. Now I'm getting in shape. I'm thinking about coming back, but I don't know, man. I don't know where to go or what to do at this point, but I want to come back, And then the wrestler's like, dude, come with me. And that's like, it's like fake the whole thing. That's how a lot of wrestlers get into wrestling. It's funny.
I had kind of...
Diamond Dallas Page, I'm talking to you, brother, moving in next to people. We know what you did.
Have come upon a time where I was like, okay, I need to know what I'm going to be called, what my music's going to be. And he suggested and like bestowed upon me Ruby Soho and the music.
Now, was Ruby Riot, my question would have been, was Ruby Riot inspired by Ruby Soho? And so, or was that just completely ridiculous coincidence that she wanted Ruby Riot? Or what? I'd like to know that. She doesn't explain it, unfortunately, but I'm curious about that.
And I have never been so, like, I was on camera, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm so happy. Like, I couldn't even, like, contain my excitement because...
Where's that video? I want to see that video.
It just seems surreal, and it was hearing it tonight and coming out to it and hearing people chant Ruby Soho, and that's me, was amazing. And it was like all of my loves, punk rock and professional wrestling, like came together tonight in this like beautiful story that just was, it's just undescribable.
You had a series of vignettes that dropped too, and music was a big part of those. And they caught fire a lot, and that familiarized people with your name. How did it feel to hear people chanting that before you even came out with a name you had never used on TV before? And those vignettes, please tell us about those.
Honestly, like, I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm not gonna get emotional, but I have never experienced anything like that before, and to have people have that anticipation for me to come out, and for people to want that, and for people to get it and get excited is something that I think all of us in the wrestling industry thrive for, like that moment of just being accepted and wanted and welcomed at this new incredible company that you work for. Like that's always a scare, right? Like you're working in a new place. Am I going to be accepted? Am I going to fit in with it? It just felt like home immediately from the moment I walked out there, and it was incredible. And
it's so weird listening to a lot of these wrestlers like Ruby, it's almost like this fresh air breathing and this desperation is left, and like it's just a very like man, how bad is it over at WWE? Because you can almost feel her, like it's almost like her lungs weren't taking in the air that she needed, but now they are after years or something. It's weird, which is a weird thing to say, but I don't know, man, she could see it.
Videos that were put out, I was so happy with the reception of them, because people understood the story, and it seemed like people felt the actual journey I went on and the struggle that I went through, and now this like almost rebirth that I'm at.
I'm not that cheesy about somebody who worked for a mega company like WWE going to now AEW. I'm not that cheesy about it myself, because it's like I'm in my basement, at 37, just got a house, barely can afford anything, and what am I supposed to? How bad am I going to feel for somebody who's made it to the WWE, who's now going to AEW and they're on TV and shit? So it's like I can't really connect with it, but I did like the story she was telling. I did like the videos, and I do like this payoff. Boom! It was good. It was really good. It really was. So I am there with her on that. Just not as like, oh, it was so beautiful. Like, I'm not there. She is as an artist, probably, because a wrestler is an artist. I mean, that's just what it is. You're an athlete and you're an artist. That's what you are. You're an entertainer, you're an athlete, you're an artist. It's all those things. So she's getting to see that payoff, so I understand the emotion.
At now, so it's
a wonderful thing to watch.
It was awesome, Tony. It was awesome.
She's fighting back tears. She's great for fighting them off and trying to keep it going. Just seems like a lovely person. I fucking love Ruby. She was one of the women that we knew could come here and have good matches, too. That's the thing that I was hoping for. And I said this. I don't think it's like I think Thunder Rosa is like one of my favorites in the company, obviously. Britt Thunder Rosa and maybe one other. But I just knew that Ruby is a great person to have because she's going to be able to just always be good out there, usually. She's always solid. She always has a solid match, usually. So, and there's some women in the company that aren't that good, you know? And so getting Ruby is great because half of the women or a quarter of them are like, I can't even believe they're in the ring, some of them. And so to have her be out there solid, who can deliver a solid match against anybody, is good to know. You know Ruby's going to deliver a 6, 7, 8, or 9 out of 10. She's not going to fall below, probably. But a lot of other people do fall below. And so that's why I like her. Oh, shit.
Though I am stoked with all those additions, I can't help but to feel real bad for people like Tay Conte, Jade Cartwell, etc. Al who may be buried because Ruby is a name.
Thank you, Moshmaster D. I'm not worried about Jade Cargill, if that's who you were saying, Jade Cargill. Moshmaster D, thank you for the $10, man. I'm not worried. What's up, MM, by the way? OG. You are an OG, man. Thank you for being here. Holy shit, Mosh. You've been here so long, bro. I'm not worried about Jade Cargill. I think maybe be a little worried about Ty Conti because I don't get it. But Jade Cargill is this Lex Luger-like narcissist type character that I really like. She's got something. She may not be the best wrestler in the ring, but her character, her presence is great. I love Jade Cargill's presentation. She's got that. Ty Conti, I could see her losing some spots here. So, yeah, there's definitely a crop of people that are, won't be regularly used as much because somebody like Ruby's going to be there. But Ruby is someone who is treated like a lower mid-carder in WWE, where she's capable of being a solid mid-carder and potentially a headliner, right? I see Ruby Soho as a top mid-carder who could be a headliner. But even in wrestling, that doesn't matter. All that matters is she's an entertainer who's a solid person. And, I think WWE didn't see her ceiling beyond a mid-card level. And they certainly, at the end, were just treating her like a lower-tiered person. And, but, it really doesn't matter where she is in WWE even. It just mattered that they didn't know what they were doing with anybody over there. So it doesn't even matter.
Hey, Ruby, you were part of that women's revolution thing, and it kind of feels like the...
Oh, this lady who just leaned into Tony Khan right here, I love her. She's so sweet. I love this lady. What's her name? Fuck, what's her name? Fuck, I can't remember her name. I just want to give her credit because I really, she's great. I forget her name right now. God damn it. She's wonderful. I met her twice now at AEW events, and she set everything up with me and was very nice to me and helped me with all kinds of shit and helped me set up a bunch of things when we did press calls and things like that. And, with just whatever. She's just a great person. I wish I could remember her name to tell you, but she's really cool.
I was so happy with the reception of them because people understood the story and it seemed like people felt the actual journey I went on and the struggle that I went through, and now this like almost rebirth that I'm at now. So it was awesome. It was awesome, Tony. It was awesome.
Hey, Ruby, you were part of that women's revolution thing, and it kind of feels like the women's revolution is kind of now expanded beyond, just where you were at. What do you think is the current state of the women's revolution in pro wrestling right now?
I think AEW is a critical part of that. I think the level of importance that is put on the women's division here is so apparent. You see different women each week. It's not the same people. You see different women who are from different backgrounds and all thriving and succeeding and intertwining with each other, and you can go on these journeys with these women, and these women have a voice. And I think this place is a crucial part in the evolution that is women's wrestling. And I think I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of it.
One of the things that people talk about, especially as wrestlers move from another place and then they come here, is this really open and engaging and exciting creative environment among their peers in the locker room. There's a lot of exchanging ideas, there's a lot of freedom of expression, and there's an open line of communication with Tony Khan to talk about anything and everything all the time. So who have you sort of been most excited to work with so far in the locker room? And what are you looking forward to with your experience with expressing your creativity and sort of finding a new freedom in this enriching environment?
Honestly, and I really wish I could find the words to express the level of welcoming I felt when I walked through these doors today. And I told Tony this earlier. There's something very special about this place. And I had heard a lot of things. I know a lot of people here. I've worked with a lot of people here that I worked with on the indies. And they all told me the same thing. And I tried so hard not to get too excited because I'm like, it can't be that. It sounds too good to be true. It can't be that great, right? It honestly is. Like, I walked through those doors and I've never felt more welcome in my life. I had so many people hugging me. We're so happy you're here. Like, what a beautiful feeling to be excited when you come to work and feel like you're welcome. And I was just elated. It was just such a beautiful thing. And to speak to Tony and be like, so like I was almost like searching for like, oh, what are you looking for? Like, what do you want? And he's just like, I just want you to be you. I don't think I've ever had that in a long time. And it felt incredible to just be like, wow, like this freedom, this creative freedom where the possibilities are endless. And to answer your question, I am a fan of so many of the girls on this roster. I don't even know if I could pick Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, like Tainara Khan. I can't even pick one because for different reasons, I'm a fan of all of them, and I'm so excited to get in the ring with all of them because I think they're going to bring out a different version of me and a different side of me and a different fight to me that no one in the industry has seen yet.
When was the last time you were this happy in pro wrestling?
I don't think I've ever been this happy in pro wrestling, if I'm being honest. Like tonight, my face hurts from smiling so much. That's a real thing. My face hurts from smiling so much. And I
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I don't know. We're only we only made it 30 minutes through this, and I really have to go. I can't believe this. We're gonna have to pick this up later, a little bit later tonight on the Raw review or tomorrow, because I ran out of time, man. Because I told Leah I would do something for her as well, and I'm having a blast listening to it, reacting to it. But we're 2 hours in. I expected to be live for an hour and a half, and god damn. We'll have to react to the Brian stuff later. To be honest, I liked what Brian said. You can see the time. it's just a crazy thing, man. It's we've run out of time. Too much. But man, I appreciate you guys being here. I'll be live tonight after WWE Monday Night Raw. We'll be here live on the Joe Cronin Show. Hope you guys are here with me tonight as well. And I do like her Beetlejuice outfit, no doubt. Thank you guys for being here, hanging out, leaving the likes, leaving the shares, hitting the sub button, and giving us all the support, baby. Thank you. And shout out to the top dog. It's going to be Simo with 1984 in the dono. So thank you guys, everybody who donated. Moshmaster D, Andale Peasy, BD Skeleton, everybody, man. You guys have been the best. Had a good time. I told you we'd go out to Andale Peasy's last song. So let's do that. I'll see you tonight for the Raw review, guys. Bye-bye. We'll have more on this tomorrow.
At least 33 people were shot in the city gun violence in Buffalo, and the grim outlook already for 2021. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Hannah Bueller takes an in-depth look at the numbers and speaks with city leaders about.
Police say they believe it's the state of the world we live in right now.
Yo, another tragedy. Streets don't love you, there goes a casualty. Trigger happy niggas and end you and do it happily. It's sad to see what's happening. This ain't what it has to be. I think it's fun and games until those shots of your reality. But what about the family who screams are full of agony? That girl just lost a father, always asking where her daddy is. We need another strategy. Little sense of urgency, or they'll be rocking teachers lighting candles at your murder scene. What is this? Someone tell me what is this? Why niggas losing their life and some losing interest to live it? You should've took that advice, but you're still refusing to listen. Now your body's cold as ice as they identify the victim. Pay attention, nigga. Yeah, I'm only telling the truth. I ain't gotta lie about it. All these bodies are proof. You won't hear no apologizing from that nigga that shoot. To be too late to think about it when that body is you. Go. A shot of Henny for the system, and another one for the pain. All the blood that spills and the tears that shed make it feel like it's pouring rain. I don't get it, even though when your heart is all in it. Yeah, you've been climbing up the ladder, but become part of the pattern because these streets don't love you. One night, one victim, 2 friends, 1 dead, 1 stayed, 1 didn't. 6 shots went flying, 5 hit, 1 missed him. It's a 50-50 chance if he's in critical condition. Like damn, who the hell was it this time? Another mother suffering cause her son just flatlined. Another brother's tears over your grave as he asked why. All he could do is recoup and think of the good times. I'm telling you facts and see you laughing. I don't see what the joke is. Bet they catch you lacking, leave you pop like smoke, kid. Streets will leave you scarred, at least your family's hopeless. So turn the drugs to the point they lose all focus. Life could get hectic in a matter of seconds, especially when that weapon is pointed at your direction. Some really try to do better, others just don't get the message. They think they know where they're going, but never know when the exit. Come on.
This was part 1 of the press conference review. I will be back with part 2, I think tomorrow, to talk about Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, and some of the other stuff from AEW as we get ready for the WWE Monday Night Raw review tonight. See you guys tonight. See you at 11 p.m. tonight.
And another one for the pain. All the blood that spills and the tears that shed make it feel like it's pouring rain. I don't get it, even though when your heart is all in it. Yeah, you've been climbing up the ladder, but become part of the pattern because these streets don't love